skip meaning. Time to filter child abuse. Oh, you see a lot more rocks now. Cramp in my hand though. Oh, visibility so much fucking better. Ain't that bush?
Scared at the minute.
Cold?
Been around a few times, just a bit scared.
Scared of what?
Crashing. Basically, yeah. It's like a whiskey throttled it. Let's go to the clutch and then just goes. If you get all about the throttle,
It's alright, Ben. Whiskey throttle happens to me all the time. It scares the shit out of me.
And mate, happened to me yesterday when I crashed.
Yeah, it feels like the bike comes alive and tries to run away from you.
Tries to kill you.
Yeah. Now the best things about trials bikes, they're slow.
Remember we were scared about that?
Yeah.
We never did it.
Clutch is a bit bitey, it's got to warm up I think to bring
I'm fighting all the time, but it's not terrible.
It's just got to warm the plates so they fly apart or something.
Right, I thought my bike was fucked before because it wouldn't start, and then I realised the fuel switch off.
Don't stand in front of his exhaust!
Oh, I get neutral. There we go. A bit awkward to get a neutral when it's cold. Don't like it.
I just turn it off, put it in neutral, kick it back on.
No, it did alright. It got round here. Got all the way down there. And it got to that little slope bit and then shit is back. So I'm going to get it back on there again in a sec. Basically just getting the ride a little loop. Just getting used to the throttle, but
Is he in first or second?
first.
Put him in second because it's less twitchy.
Yeah, but the problem is
Stalling
it's
it.
a lot faster.
Yeah.
On that bike it is. And the problem with him is, if he's whiskey throttling it, he forgets how to stop and just carries on until he hits something, and that'll be a lot quicker.
Yeah, I suppose.
It's either do it twitchy and slower, or do it fast and maybe a bit smoother. I've been telling him start and stop on this,
Yeah.
on the clutch, nothing else. That doesn't matter at the minute. Start and stop on that. Then, come on.
Come on.
We'll start second kick this one.
It might pull through enough on the first one.
That's what I'm thinking.
But he won't walk past because of the exhaust. It's alright. He's told you the most important thing. Your left hand. What's that? What's your left hand? Clutch. Right, the clutch is what makes everything happen. So it's basically the best brake you have. So if you're out of your comfort zone, you just got to keep pulling. Just remember this all the time. Just do it every now and then, not just when you want to stop. Do it like at a little bit of a corner. Just gently pull it in so you can feel. Because what you want is you want to feel that you're in control. And then, best place to learn. You're not going to get hurt here.
It's smooth, there's not a lot to hit.
Emotionally maybe, but
Yeah, we'll abuse you emotionally. I'm sweating for fuck's sake.
do you like turning left or right?
I don't think he's got a preference at the minute.
He might do. It's weird like on the BMX. Because you might find that you prefer turning.
You kind of have to on the bike.
I'm not more gears than I thought. I would have still been nervous.
I would have
like,
myself, but I would have loved it.
Yeah.
But
he might do later.
My parents never let me do fuck up.
Nah, mine wouldn't let me. Motorbikes were the fucking devil.
Yeah, I wouldn't have liked anything when I was a kid like that. They almost bought me a PW50. They even took me to the guy's house, showed me it, see if I liked it. I was like proper made up, and then they didn't buy it. I was like, that is just an absolute comfort. That's worse than giving someone on Christmas Day and then taking it away again.
What, because they're naughty?
Like, fuck's sake. Right, you want to go on the other bit? You want to go that way?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be hard for him to turn properly sat down because he can't lean it. Yeah. It's easier than sat down. Conquered something new! Don't know how much air I got. That felt nice, huh? I've been looking at that one for ages. Well, the first one.
not bad little bike actually, it's just not a lot of poke.
That's what he needs.
I know.
I mean, really he needs an 80, but the faster he...
Yeah, but the thing is though, an 80 is a lot lighter than this. Even though it's a 125, it's still slower than the 80 because it's a lot heavier. And it's more planted, so it's not going to flip up or fly around anyway. Just a wheelie, you've got to really fucking give it some. It's not that bad, it's just scary.
He just needs to really try and master him kicking it.
Yeah, but he's like Becky though, that's the problem. Yeah, I know. Once you try something, it gives up straight away. That's the problem. Rosie's more fucking, oh yeah, go for it. And she's happy doing that, but he's not.
David's a bit like him. But once they do it, they fucking love it.
I know.
Once they get that confidence.
I know. I don't like it. I don't like it.
That's fun going up, you jump out the top. Yeah. After yesterday, that's like, ooh, scary. Oh, bollocks, Velcro. Getting hot. Yeah. think so. Don't dump your clutch at the bottom. I was like, edge braking!
It's a good little bit down there, isn't it?
It's, like I said yesterday, when you come from somewhere big to here, it's like everything's doable.
Everything's here.
Yeah. Well, no, everything's small. And
I think, to be honest, that'd be a good one that we can get on there eventually.
Eventually, I think we'd start from the right, moving along that ledge at the lower bit, jumping off.
Yeah.
And then ride up. There's a rock in the corner you could probably pop your front with and hop up, but even if you know how to do it, there's like a 1 in 3 chance you're going to fuck it up. That's what happens at the mills now. We know how to do some of them, but we don't always do it.
Yeah, it's not always spot on, is it?
And some of them you don't.
The idea is there, and we're getting there slowly, but
Yeah, it just needs to be.
takes time.
Yeah.
I see all these people doing trials, they've been riding for years.
Yeah, this is fucking younger than Ben.
Yeah.
Right.
They've been riding for years, and it's like, well, you know, I've never really fucking done a lot. Off-road riding anyway, never.
You didn't even know what a trials bike was.
I've seen them, but I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Still in Scotland, they were like, they're really cool. I think that was a turning point in Scotland. They were like, yeah, fuck it, we'll get them.
Right, it's like when the other Rusty Skulls went 2-inch perfect. I wanted to do that, just not with them. They would have ruined my fucking day.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to go.
Plus, to discover how fucking unfit I am.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I might get him an instruction day.
I would. It's like, I know it's money, but it's money well spent at that stage.
Yeah, it might help him.
Us now, we're only doing it because you want to advance a little bit more or correct some of the wrongs you've learned, but it's not needed. Whereas that, it'd be a lot more at ease if there's like a fucking a Rosie or a Gigi on the same course, and they'd be
Tell
like,
you what, I think Rosie'd be really good at it. Got no fear.
same as Gigi, just whatever, I'll do it.
Fear, just go for it. Yeah. No, I think Rosie'd be really good. He'll get there eventually.
It's like the little hill at the back that we don't really ride on. We were playing like kind of like a version of bike where they would do something and then the other two had to copy it. And Gigi would just fucking roll off anything. And Davey would be there sat there for half an hour trying to convince him it's okay, Davey, you can do it. And then they'd do it and he's like, yeah, you could see like the, yeah, I've done it. But up until that point where they actually do it, I'm the same though. I won't really try new shit on my own when I'm out riding. I'll stick to familiar.
Okay.
Not really, no. Just in case it goes wrong.
I don't really get a chance to go on my own anyway, but
Yeah.
if I do, I just do what I normally do, just go out and do whatever I fancy. If I
Yeah.
don't fancy it, I won't do it.
There's a lot of,
Just kind of got to go, fuck it, just go for it.
when I ride places on my own, I'm generally just sort of scouting spots. And I'll be like, yeah, I'm happy doing that on my own, or that I'd rather wait to try to convince you.
Get injured, that's a good.
Yeah. Well, to just watch you do it first so I can film it.
Oh right, seriously, you can do it. All like that one.
What?
That one, we were looking at ages ago.
Looks
thinking,
scary, but when you
fuck
put the power down, it doesn't even fucking register. You just go,
no. That's good stuff.
drop. But just tried to have me off. Have you done much just standing on it with the engine off? Just sort of getting used to. So you like riding your bike, your push bikes, don't you? It's exactly the same thing, just more scary. And once you get rid of the scary bit, you realise it's way fucking better because you've got this here that it's like, whoo, I can suddenly do all this other stuff. But you just need to spend some time handlebar against the wall on your own. Ask your dad if you could just put it in the garage or something and just sort of stand on it and get a feel for what it's like, because it's a big heavy thing compared to a mountain bike, isn't it? It's like, whoa. That's if you want to do it, of course. I never stopped to ask Dave if he wanted to do half the things I made him do. No, I wouldn't want to be sat on the boot of a car in the rain on a Saturday morning. That's not as fun. It's just it's a shitty time of year. So in the summer, this down here is lovely. You come down in the evening and it's all quiet and still daylight. God, they look like they're trouble. Some people you just know are gonna moan. Do we go mine? I bet you I've dropped it more times than you will. Yeah, they look like the Moni type as well. Just stay off the common bit, they can't say nothing here.
Well, that's the thing, to be honest, everyone used this before because not dirt track shit, so
Yeah, nah.
no one walks the dog.
Tearing up and down the pathy bit, they'd only be able to moan to a committee meeting.
Yeah.
And just beyond there is the green lane. It goes right from Bardsey to Thingy Bay, Baycliff.
Yeah.
It's like one big green lane, so just play the usual card. I don't know where the green lane is!
Oh, it's cooking, yeah, that's like yesterday.
Fuck me, I was fuming when Carly read out the thing. That area was refused the SSSI. They refused it. It's not what he says it is, and it's all one common. The bit that we were stood next to with the fence, like where it's all fenced off, that's private. And there's like a little few patches.
Yeah, but that's on the other side of the road.
No, we were right next. There is a pen in that big area that's private, but it's all fenced in.
So the rest of it's not.
Where he caught us, we were even on a footpath. We were just veering off of it slightly. I was so pissed off.
Well, yeah,
but you should see what I've done to the video of that section. It's uploaded, but it takes fucking another 24 hours for the HD to render.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, it's funny.
You put that information on afterwards.
I did when you were saying about when you rang the police and that. I put a picture of a map up quickly and that saying, and afterwards we discovered. It's that misty rain shit that gets all on the lens. This was slippery. That pre-dabbed it. I think I'm pulling a bit late. Maybe. I didn't bother.
I think it is minging. Have a little shot on them, see what you think.
I had a go on it and yeah, it's fine.
Well, I've tweaked it now.
What have you done now?
made it a bit better.
Scared
Smoother.
Ben?
No, it's just a bit smoother now.
You could be Beta Ben.
Just see what you think, see if it needs tweaking anyway, because I think it's alright, but see if you pick up on anything. Rates a bit higher on.
They're really high.
Was it too high?
Yeah.
What have we got for him?
Bending my hands back. They need to come in more.
In a little bit.
He needs to be using the further end because it's more progressive. So that's where the pros use it, because they want on or off snap. But he needs it smooth.
Yeah.
And at the minute, to do that, he's got to have half his hand off the grip. So it just needs...
Trying to bring it in though is a bit of an issue, because it's only one bloody leg. I'll be honest, just bring it in a tiny bit.
Yeah, because you... That's like... too tight. Up, 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 up. You notice the power not being there. See, the guidelines your boss gave you is to leave Ryan Young.
Hey?
He, you never should move your, when you go from grip to lever, your elbow should never move, because that's upsetting your balance in other areas, and that is really fucking profound movement.
His arms are lower down than yours.
Maybe it is done per rider.
Yeah, that's why I set him up that way, because he's lower down than you. When he's sat down, his arms are upwards. When he's standing up, they're at a normal kind of level. I might bring him down just a few mil, just to angle it down a little bit, like the brake, and then might find it a bit easier. But it's mainly on the throttle that he's struggling with at the minute.
Ben.
Now he's got the hang off.
Ben, come here, mate.
Come on, lie down.
Come on.
Stand on it.
But don't sit, just wrong foot. No, give it up, up.
Where are you going?
Take your left foot,
Take your helmet, that fucking hood down, you might go
Sorry.
hear something.
left foot on the left peg.
Left foot,
That's it.
there you go.
Left hand on there. That's it.
Hand.
Now reach over to that one. Now swing your leg over. You don't want to be stepping through on these bikes. You think you do, but
You don't.
you get it all muddy and shit, and you get wear points. Right. Now if you look down at your feet, this is the only time you look down on a bike, is when you're not going anywhere. So, do you know the parts of your foot? So you've got the heel, you've got the ball, and you've got your toes. Right? You want it just at the back part of your ball. So move your feet back a bit. Back a bit. That's forward. Move them back. That's it, just about there. Now, you want to move them out so you've got about an inch. So you can see, you see that thing you've just exposed there? Right, you want to be able to see that on both sides. So just move them out a little bit. It will feel shit in trainers, okay? It feels a lot better in boots. Now, especially for this bike, I can get away with it on mine because you see how lower my seat goes. When I did some turns back there, this is quite high. Now, you got a nice grip there, and this is like swimming, okay? I've got you don't need to worry. So, as we lean the bike, you keep yourself upright, okay? So you bring this...
Bend your arse over.
Now, can you feel the pressure on that leg there? Now, if you had your foot right up against the frame, you wouldn't be able to lean the bike enough to get the turn, okay? Because the handlebars come around like that. This elbow is nice and high. This is your jab elbow, and this arm is nice and straight. Now, forget about your feet. Right. Now look at that heel over there, and then slightly down. Okay, that is your turning posture. And then as the turn gets tighter, you'll be looking right down there. But at first, it will make you want to fall in and make you feel a bit sort of kind of like dizzy, like falling over. But you get used to it. And as you get better, this turn will come so far in there that your arse will be still. No, keep going the other way. Don't go the in way. Push your bum out more. Stick your arse out. Go on. As it comes down, see? Right now, because of the length of the size of this bike to you, you're on a proper stretch here. But you don't need to worry too much about this, because this tyre in this mud, as you're trying to turn like this, with, let's face it, you're not going to have brilliant throttle control at this stage. You'll do something called ploughing. Okay, so that back wheel, if we draw a straight line from the back wheel out, you see where the straight line goes? This tyre will get pushed that way. It will plough. Now, depending on what's causing it, you can either lean more, but you generally have to turn less, keeping straight, you're the spirit level, okay, and then lean more. And what will happen is it will let the wheel roll, so even though it's pushing you that way, it will turn again, and you'll be able to get it. Obviously here's quite tricky because that's a slope. Your first things to do, forget what we're doing going up hills and all that stuff, that's not important. You master the basics, you'll be better than your dad in like a year, I guarantee you. Right? All you need to do is get it so you're going round and round in circles, really nice and tight, both ways, always practice both ways. And if you're like me, you find, oh, I don't like this way, I like the other way, then always practice the way you don't like first. Always work on the shit side, okay? Because your good side doesn't need as much work. And then you do a figure of 8, and then you're practicing both sides anyway. And once you've got that, you can do things now where if you slightly bend your knees, right, and you got a good grip there. Now, brain fart, pull the brake in, just hold it. Generally we do it with one finger, but if two is helping you feel better at the minute. Now, open your legs a bit because you're trying to balance, okay? Right, so tell me, do you feel more unbalanced? Oh boy. And try and keep it up. You've got to push gently with your feet on the pegs. You do realise with these bikes, you don't turn with your hands. It's all with your feet. You push with your peg and it will naturally turn. Now, I'm only really noticing that now since I've got a new tyre that grips. It is really hard work just turning with the bars. You've got to initiate with your foot because it tilts and naturally turns And see what you're doing there? You are naturally counterbalancing it. I didn't teach you that way, did I? So you've already learnt something on your own. Now, the aim of the game is a bit of a, I can't tell if we're flat or not. It's to see how long you can balance for.
You know, that bike's not that bad to balance on because it's quite low centre of gravity.
So
it's very heavy, so it's quite easy to balance.
To start with,
that's it.
There's very little pressure on my legs. So as it starts to move this way, what you'll find is eventually, if you put a little bit of steering in, then instead of using your feet all the time to balance, you actually use your hand, because it's very fine steering. Now I know I just said, oh, you don't steer with your hands, but this is like the fine control, precision control, and your feet are the big movements. The same with jumping. You start a lot of the big jumps that we do with stamping your feet to compress all the suspension and get it ready to jump. See, now you're going pro school with the one leg.
That one leg, fuck you!
When my leg comes out, it's usually because I'm coming off. But you see people on the events and they're riding around the whole thing with one foot in the air. It's like, yeah.
You know, I find it quite easy sometimes, one foot out, and then you can get further lean going around the corner.
It acts as like a pendulum type thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of the stuff I did with that when I first got it was just in my drive without the engine on, like just getting to feel.
That's what I was doing in the garage, just standing on it. Standing on it and not really moving anywhere.
And as you practice it, you will. These aren't like overnight magic tricks, unfortunately. There you go. Bring it back. There's a silly boy side, usually accompanied by a grumpy farmer.
Once you learn it, it becomes second nature.
Now there are places that are easiest to learn this. If you're slightly downhill with your, you can dig it into soft ground. You see, you know how an off-road tyre works, don't you? You see these knobbly bits here. They act like teeth or fingers gripping the mud. So if it's turned in and sort of noduled in a bit. Now, there is a magic trick though. Sorry. Do you know what's easier for doing this? It's weird. Do you know how to make this whole thing easier? Got any ideas? What's missing? No, you've got a head. Yeah, fair enough. Think more in the scheme of the bike. The engine's not running, right? Now, when you're on a mountain bike, is it easier to stay upright riding along or act like this? Right, because there's something called gyroscopic motion. Now it's generated ever so slightly with the engine doing what the engine does. And that actually helps it want to stay upright. So with the engine on, not revving it, not gear it in, just engine on, you actually find that there's a little bit of an assist that makes it easier. But I wouldn't worry about that just yet, because all you need to do is practice this, because then when you put the engine on, it's like, wow, this is even easier, and it will take you to the next level. So, there you go. So I wanted to show you, it's not all scary shit with these. Like, stick stand on. Like, compared to enduro bikes and that, there's only been a couple of people who died in trials, and it's not because of the trials, it's because they fell off of the quarry edge. And things like that. It's not actually the bike's fault. See now, it's harder. Now the other trick is you can get him to let the tyres really low. Nowhere in it. I didn't even notice over there. See how I immediately turn mine? Use a bit of foot. I'm not perfect, I wish I could sit there for hours doing it, but I'm still learning myself. So. But in the mud, See how, without even thinking, I'm constantly putting it to the side. Balancing like that is a lot harder. You always, and you'll find your side. You've done skate park stuff, haven't you? You find that you go up a ramp to the left or to the right. Okay. So on a half pipe, you generally will have a side that you turn, and you'll be goofy footed or not as well with a push. You go right. I used to go right, but I was goofy footed as well, so I had the outside foot trailing, whereas other people had that foot in. It's like left hand, right hand on your feet and things that have a vet. Same happens here. You either like it that way to balance or that way, and having the time to do it, just like, I don't know, where you can have it against the wall in the garage for the practice. Yeah, but it's not about running at the minute. There's so much you can learn and get a head start on that doesn't even need it to run. Yeah, because he's missing the spoke. Two. No, and he's not going to be doing fucking high ledge drops and shit. I didn't want to do that today. Yeah, I kicked my ass out first time. What a dick. Were you in second? Yeah. Didn't quite. Didn't quite get it.
yesterday, today, and I forgot. Sorry, I'll go over it.
Things do. And same with my car when I forget about that when I get in a bit.
Oh, really good.
Yeah. Handbrake's leaking off again.
Is it?
Oh, that's light.
Good, isn't it?
Oh, handlebars are horrible. Handlebars hurt my hand. Somebody can't ride my bike. Can't do it.
It's very off and off.
Yeah.
It's really hard. A lot better.
Yeah, well they scrubbed themselves off yesterday I think.
Yeah, you need to do something off. It's really off or on. It's like you got your biting point literally there and they're gone.
Yeah.
It's immediately off. What do you think of that one?
The handlebars feel really weird.
They will do, I think. Because you got this one, plus it off.
But lovely soft suspension, smooth delivery. You'll have no problems holding the wheelie on that, it's just like effortless.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed, especially around here, it's very easy. Really nice to pull a wheelie on it.
Not so easy going up a steep hill though.
Yeah. Good point, good bad point. Unless you go like that, it's just don't say anything about it, it's silly, no complaint.
Apart from farmers.
Well, yeah. Never done the farmers.
No, but
Kristen.
it's the fucking douchebag right here. The thing that triggered me the most was when he said, I'm sick of views.
Yeah.
It's like, hang on.
Not new.
Yeah.
Well, this one. Is that more like?
You gotta understand how much he fucking hates this trailer. You should be honoured that he bought you. Did you put both on, or did you put one on the rack? Yeah, you don't know if something's going to catch on the corner. It looks like it's quite clear. The corner of the trailer to the front. Yeah, it'd go above it, wouldn't it? Too far. You've got a little blonde assistant. So this is my dailies out the way. I think I'm going to shoot down into the woods before I go, but and then we got our vouchers from school. In fact, they're only off 2 weeks. We got £78 per kid. Yeah. Oh. Can you get working tax credit? Yeah. Ah. You lose child benefit as well. With Rosie, it's the wheel size as well though. So if he can ride big wheel, he's up 16. Until you're 16, you can't go above 125. Yeah. That's why I cable tied mine up. Just so it's like rub, but it was alright before you put the... Mind you, it looks like yours might even hit the wheel on a bump. If the mud guard weren't there. have to say, it's fucking warping. That can't have much life left in it. Yeah. I'm sure there would have been a reason. Maybe they had a bigger bike or something. You still haven't popped the wheel in. Oh, it is the driver's responsibility for cargo. You haven't tried to step off either. It's so much easier if the rags in it. Yeah. And so one of the guys who did the Revenge, he flooded out his engine on the bog at the top, pushed it back, tried to rebuild it, and another one just popped to his car and got his reserve bike. Yeah. I'm the guy pushing the fucker back to fix. Yeah. Going home! I'll see you later. See you later. I can feel that still coming through. Well, riding out in fourth, what do you expect? My leg is coming out way too often. We've done that one. Well, don't tell them, break off. Wow. Dead end. Wow, what's that? Devastation from that storm. Carnage. they look like parks off the thing, but it's not that steep, but maybe well, in the summer you can't see all this shit. That's the parks in the top. Oh, there's been a run off of water through there. I couldn't ride that. I'm thinking at the stage I can walk it down, maybe paddle through it. the riverbed. You can see the flow pushed apart the leaf. This would have been fun riding up when it was in force.